Remember, all rows and all columns. So what I like to do is right-click on the sales.customers, okay, and script table as select to. I wanted to go to clipboard. Clipboard. So right select on the table, sales.customers, script table as, select to, clipboard. Now it doesn't do anything yet, folks. It only goes into clipboard. You still have to paste it somewhere. So select to, clipboard. And once you paste it, that's every single column for the table sales customers. Bam, piece of cake. Alright, so that's the trick. Let me know if you have any trouble executing this query, folks, or if you have any questions on this. So today is the day where all the airplane comes this way, huh? That's why you're hearing all those airplanes today. You are hearing this guy right now. Probably. Or the guy behind him. That's probably behind him. No, there's three. Alright, so anyways, just wondering why it's so many airplanes today. Alright, so task number 3, expand the sales customer table, expand the columns folder, observe all columns. Write a select statement to return those following things. Well, select from, and what we're looking for is contact name, address, postal code, city, and country. Bam. Boom. Bang. so cute. All right, so off it goes. All right, so that does the trick. Wow, can believe it. That's the end of exercise 1. That was kind of easy, isn't it? Folks, can you hear me okay? Okay, somebody heard me. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes,
All
I can hear
right.
you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone wondering what that is? That's like two singing singamajigs. If you wonder what that is, it's fun little toys. However, that being said, it's a toy to be played with responsibly. Uh, don't give these to your kids because they will never stop. And there's no off button. It's a stress ball in disguise. It's good stuff. All right, so that's exercise 1. Cool. So exercise 2, here we go. Task number 1. Write a select statement against the sales customer showing only the country column. Okay. So folks, a lot of this is muscle memory. So if you have done this a lot in the past, then in that case, feel free to, blow right through this. Use the most efficient way that you know. Okay. Otherwise, we just do select country. Bam. Highlight it. Control E. Bam. Done. Task number 2. Modify it to return only distinct values. Now, it's really interesting. You can actually, so try to put a semicolon to tell the server when does one query end, when does the other query begin. So notice you will see 2 sections in your results. Now, if you switch over to the Messages tab, you'll see the first query returns 91 rows. The second query returns 21 rows. All right, so there we go. We got our distinct list of customers. So last question is, under which circumstances do the following queries against the sales customer return the same results? Results are identical if 1. First query. Second query. "91 rows, 69 rows." Something like that. Okay. You get the idea. Just give you a distinct list, right? So if the reason why they would give you the same result would be if they're indeed one of those. All right, so that's exercise 2. I think that goes without a whole lot of challenge there. Folks, I'm just going to take a pause and survey around the room. Does anyone have any questions or feel there's not enough time to finish this lab? Please let me know. Okay, so moving on to 3. Now this is the alias topic. Write a select statement. I'm going to do it the hard way. Okay, select from sales.customers C dot contact name. Bam. comma, C dot contact title. Now folks, if you run into any error messages or things that's not executing correctly, and folks, a lot of times it takes another pair of eyes, seconds, to fix, to find it. So if you can't find like what's wrong with some of the queries, please let me know. It might take me just a quick time to find it. All right, so that does the trick. Yeah. All right, write a select statement to return the contact name, contact title, and company name columns from the sales.customer. Assign these columns with the alias name, title, blah, blah, blah. Bam. Sounds good enough for me. But this time, I'm going to do a little differently. Why? Because it's a fun thing to do. So I'm going to design a query. Sales.customer, close that. Specifically, I want contact name, contact title, company name. And we need alias these columns to name, title, and company name. All right, select OK. And you'll notice in the designer, as you use company space name, I advise you not to use space in column names, but because the lab calls for it, we will use it. And be mindful, you want to put them in square bracket to escape them. Okay, otherwise the space would totally mess up the thing.
You can also use quote marks, can't you?
Absolutely can. Now, square quotation mark let people know, oh, that's a SQL Server guy wrote that query. And double quote will be like, oh, that's an Oracle guy who wrote that query. So yeah, we want to make it obvious. So either way works.
But you got that right.
That's right. Absolutely right. There you go. So yeah, in the Access and SQL Server, typically you'll see a lot of these square bracket things, and that's used to enclose extra characters. All right, so that's that. Moving on. Okay, so again, what I did was go into the query designer, and this time, oops, wrong table, customers. Okay, so let's get rid of this table. Right click, remove it. So here I select all that, and I use the alias over here to give a column alias. And you can also give table alias by right click on it, go to properties, give an alias C. All right. All right. Cool. So that's where the alias goes in. Now let's move on. Task 3. Write a query to display the product name column from production.product table using P as the table alias and product name as the column alias. So here I'm going to do a design query in editor, production.products. Right click on the table name, go to properties, alias as P, select close, and use product name with an alias of product name. So product space name, enter, click on OK. So that's the end of that query. That was quick. Alright, so a developer has written a query to retrieve two columns. When the query is executed, it returns only one column. Your task is to analyze the query, correct it to return two columns. So, why did it return only a single column? That was the question. So if you look at this, why does it return only a single column? Accidental alias. You can tell because it's missing the column, and your result now has country as your column name. So if you meant to return two columns, then all we need to do is to make sure there is a comma between the two columns, and therefore solve that problem. All right, so moving on to the next one. Next. There we have it. Okay, write a select statement to display the category ID and product name from the production.products table. Now that's a fairly trivial thing to do. So step 1. On the products, category ID, product name. Bam. So there we have it, first query. Next, enhance the select statement in task 1 by adding a case expression that generates a result column named category name. Okay. So here I must actually refer back to the courseware because there is a mapping in the lab. So I'm going to go to lab 3 and find that mapping file. So this is the mapping file. Okay. So folks, part of the fun of learning SQL is that these repetitive things do build muscle memory. So there we go. Folks, can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's great. Thank you. It's not selecting everything. Okay. Oh, it doesn't let me paste. It's like my Alt key stuck. Oh, it's better now. So I'm going to start by using a comma, case, category ID, and so that's the beginning of the case and that's the end of the case, right? And between the beginning and end, we have a bunch of when, followed by then, right? So I'm going to copy this a few times. All right, so there we have it. So when 1, 2, or 3, 4, okay, so I think that's our plan right there. Else, other. Good. Oi. Okay. Else, others. Beverages, condiment, confections. trains meet. Produce and seafood. Now folks, you don't have to type exactly the same. I will not grade your paper, so don't worry. There's no grading or testing, so you can just, as long as you put something there, we're good. All right. Yeah, it's weird. You can't say meats. You can't say produces or seafoods. All right, so that's that. And don't forget to give our column alias category name. Bam. All right. And off you go. That works. All right. Next, we're going to change this query so it has an extra column. So instead of just copy it again and make it too big that spans multiple pages, I'm just going to continue and put task 3 results on the same query. Okay, so we're going to add a new column called isCampaign, which shows campaign products for 3 categories. So here I'm going to use a different case statement. I'm testing this time. I'm going to say when category ID in allows me to compare to a list of values. And notice I'm testing against category ID. I'm not testing against category name because category name is a column result. I cannot refer to it directly. Okay, so here I'm going to have to use the ID 1, 7, and 8. Then campaign products. Okay, else non-campaign product. Don't forget the end keyword. This is all part of the muscle memory I've been talking about. And the column name is campaign. And that's it. That satisfies exercise 2 and 3.